Welcome to the Rainbow Six Pro League, the number one place for competitive Rainbow Six esports on the Xbox One. I'm your host, Jonathan Johnny Streams Ross, and co-casting alongside me tonight is Sin. We'll be trying out for the caster spots. Tonight we have Quacked versus Decadence. Sin, you know anything about these guys at all? Seen them on ESL ladders or anything? You're good to go,
Wait,
man.
okay, I couldn't hear you in the party for some reason.
Oh,
It's kind
okay.
of weird.
It might
I
be
was, I was on mute.
Twitch just glitching out. Nah, you're good. Blame it on technology as usual.
Yeah, okay, but what were you saying anyways?
Have you seen these guys on ESL ladders at all?
I know Quacked is really good, and I actually played against them, not this latest go for that was yesterday, but the week before. We got destroyed though, because I was playing with kind of a pickup squad, but they're definitely a really strong team. They've had a couple roster changes, like adding Mavericks and DB Loverage.
Yeah.
After a while. But those are definitely two solid players that I know that I feel like most people know in the community, especially Mavericks, kind of
Yeah.
known as the X-Star player from Unknown.
Yeah. And we're just not gonna mention that whole ordeal. We mentioned that on Chat Esports. You can go to their Anchor podcast, and soon I believe their YouTube video will be up. Y'all can check that out. I think Decadence was just waiting on a router restart. I'll message them real quick just to make sure that that's what it was. Yeah,
But yeah, Quacked is definitely a really good team. I haven't really heard of Decadence though at all. I haven't seen anything from them, so
yeah, they
just to see how this match is gonna go.
they generally stay away from the Go Fours. They're not big fans of it. They mainly just stick to either the Pro League ranked or ESL ladders. I believe they actually hopped up. I believe they're third in the ESL ladder right now. So I can check. Yeah, I'm gonna check that real quick actually. Should have everything set up. Ready and waiting for these players. No, Decadence dropped back down to 5th. I think they lost a match to Cynical last night or 2 nights ago.
Yeah, Quacked is holding the #1 spot currently.
Yeah,
Not surprising.
25-0-4. Not a huge surprise there.
Yeah.
I know they've got a little bit of a different lineup for their ESL team too. I think they run Ooftapon or Oofies and Donut a little more often. Cole Wise. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure why Coleman's in the game right now. Coleman is probably just goofing off and trying to mess with me, if I'm being honest. Probably gonna Discord message me in a second. All right.
Yeah.
This is hard time to fill. Yes. This is
Yeah, it is. Let's talk about the pre-match, I guess. But these teams are really good. I've seen a lot more from Quack than I have from Decadence. But so I'm interested to see how their playstyle is going to be. Quack is very frag-oriented. A lot of their players have really good gunplay, especially with the addition of Mavericks and BB Leverage. I feel like it's going to be even more so. I'm just trying to go purely based off of frags. I have seen them pull out some strats, but like I said, their team is a very frag-heavy team in the end.
yeah. And they've kind of transitioned strat wise. Coleman's coming back. They, as far as defense goes. During the earlier stages of the old Pro League and beforehand, when they were just playing ESL ladders, their defense was mainly fully objective based, and they would sometimes have a roamer, but oftentimes would just play all 5 people on site no matter what the objective was. And that's something they were very, very good at. But with the addition of Mavericks, and then Oofies, or Ooftapon kind of transitioned into that role a little bit as their season in the old league went on. They've kind of developed a new style of roaming where they'll keep 4 people on objective to maintain that heavy objective hold, and they're still a very strong heavy objective team, but they'll have that one deep roamer in previously Oofies, now Mavericks, with him being picked up. And so it's really been interesting to see that, because you thought Quacked was hard to beat in the first place, and then as you're just starting to figure them out, they change what they're doing.
Yeah, and back to the 5-man on site. Playing against them before, I remember we didn't have to do really any roam clears, as we kind of knew, hey, they play everybody on site, so we can really just take map control super easy and set up for a site push. And that kind of was their downfall in some rounds, in a way, just because they have so many people on site, and it was kind of really easy to read, and allowed the attackers really to gain control of the rest of the map just very, very quickly with doing minimal droning and being able to have so much time left to be able to push the actual site itself. In some cases, having only take 30 seconds to get their site push set up, and then actually executing very early on and winning rounds very, very quickly, just because they know they can get that map control very effectively and very efficiently, knowing that there isn't really any way to stop them.
Yeah, and that's something that, as they've transitioned to a heavier roam, has thrown teams off, obviously. But even they've even kind of a couple games at least that I've seen them play, is they've started off with that strong 5-man site hold, and then as the round progresses, the attacking team, they get more and more used to not having to drone out and not really needing to do a whole lot of roam clear, and that's when they'll start roaming heavily with Mavericks. And I think BB Love Rage has picked it up a little bit too, here and there. Looks like all the players are ready, so we will get started. The first game is... Why is it starting us on Coastline? Well, that's something I'll have to fix. I'm just... The first map was supposed to be Border. I'm going to message the teams real quick, see if it's fine if we do Coastline and then Border, as opposed to Border Coastline.
But here, while you do that, I guess I'll talk a little bit about maps we're playing. So we're playing Border, Coastline, and what is the decider?
Clubhouse's decider.
Clubhouse. All right. I know that Quacked is definitely a very proficient team on Border. Their holds and overall just attack strategies on Border are always very strong. We're playing against it. There's plenty of rounds that were really, really close, and attacks were definitely a lot stronger than defenses, in my opinion, as their attacks were definitely a lot more coordinated than most teams that you would see, even in the comp scene, and just kind of what helps make them a good team overall. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw Border going into the way of Quacked. Not sure about Coastline or Clubhouse, but I have a feeling that Border is definitely going to be very one-sided in Quack's favor, at least. But like I said, I haven't really seen a whole lot of play from Decadence, so I'm not sure what maps they're really proficient on and whatnot. So we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose.
Yep, and the bans coming out. The only odd one that I'm seeing here is a ban on the Monty. That is... It's defaulting to an ad, of course. The Monty ban is something that you do not see very often at all. That was Quacked's ban, I believe. So that's going to be That's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously, they're likely trying to target someone from Decadence specifically, although knowing Decadence for a bit, I'm not quite sure. I mean, I don't think any of them have really played Monty heavily in the past, but we'll see if allowing a hard breacher in Thermite or Hibana, or an extra roam clearer in Dokkaebi comes to the demise of Quacked. Ooh.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Did you full screen?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. I guess the first site we'll be seeing the defenders going to Quacked is Kitchen and Service. Not very surprising, as this is usually the this is considered the best site on this map. Just because it is more defendable, I suppose. This map, if you did not know already, is attacker weighted, just by a little bit. But because of that, really winning those defense rounds is really hard to do, and they're also important, as winning that one round can be the be the deciding factor in between you winning 7-6 and you losing 7-6. So yeah, not surprising, like I said. Interested to see if they're going to be holding upstairs or not. Of course, Mira has been banned, so she will not be in play, which she is usually a big factor on this site, especially in just this map in general, with how much utility she provides.
And the lone roamer of Jaeger will present a bit of a challenge to be cleared out. However, looks like Vibe Paralysis and Linux may be attempting to clear him out now.
Does look like the main kind of roam clear is coming out from that hookah and billiards, so it does look like they're going to be pressuring from the above, especially using that Buck and that Zofia to their advantage. I've seen other teams in the past kind of try to take that upstairs control, but not really have anything to capitalize on it. The first kill of the round will come out from Vibe Paralysis onto Vazdex. See Bandit off the board. Vazdex is usually a very strong player aim-wise, so getting taken down very early on is going to hurt a little bit. Although not much utility has been lost, as the Bandit probably has already expended all his batteries and barbed wire. Drones coming out will spot out Mavericks, and Mavericks winning the fight on the Paralysis, and then Mavericks getting a second kill on to the Zofia. Very nice kills from Mavericks. We'll put him on about 3 or 4-ish points of health. He will have gotten the man advantage back in his team's favor, though has taken a significant chunk of health away from him. Getting those 2 shots on those 2 players was a very nice job from him. That's coming up to the floor from Love Rage onto Nightmare. Nightmare not really taking any damage. Just trying to use that skeleton key to make those holes above. Trying to weed out any defenders inside those power positions inside the kitchen. Doesn't look like he will be able to hit anybody currently, though, as he has since backed off the holes inside VIP, looking towards kitchen service. Looks behind the bomb, but Hassel peeking up to the floor, hitting a very nice shot onto Nightmare, putting his team in the man advantage now before, I believe that's Jacob, gets a refrag on to the Valkyrie of Love Rage. It's all up to the Thermite and Thatcher of Decadence against the Jaeger of Mavericks. Hassel on Smoke and Oreos on the Maestro, though Mavericks is very low HP from the previous 2 engagements. Oreos on that Maestro cam, just trying to stall out for time. First smoke canister does come out from the smoke. Will stall out the attackers. They're both pretty low HP now, and they're going to have to push into that smoke with only 10 seconds left. Thermite looks like he's about to push in, but the smoke canisters are still going off. Mavericks spraying through the smoke, injuring Thatcher, and then Hassel peeking out for the final kill onto the Thermite of Foggy. Very strong round from Quack to start this game off. It looked like that first roamer getting fragged off very early on did kind of look pretty good for Decadence, but very swiftly Mavericks getting those 2 kills in response, putting the man advantage into the hands of his own team, doing a very nice job on that I guess, flank slash late realm. They managed to rotate back to site and not get refragged, which was kind of bad for Decadence, as they allowed him to escape, even though on very low HP. He managed to get a third kill at the end of the round there onto the Thermite. And also, very nice job from Hassel on the smoke in kind of stalling out Decadence there.
Yep, and that was not only a good job by the smoke, knowing to keep those gas canisters toward the last couple seconds, but a very, very good job there by Mavericks. We've seen him, as he's moved to Quacked, kind of change roles a little bit on the attacking side, but on the defending side, they know that they just need to let Mavericks roam, and it proved to be extremely effective there, popping off with 2 kills, destroying the roam clear, and allowing himself to get back to site and be reset. Very, very powerful is Mavericks on that Jaeger roam, and it proved to be at least a large, large thorn in the side of the attackers in that round.
But just really quickly to touch up on that previous round, mainly what I saw there from Decadence was roam clear kind of coming out, got that 1 kill. They got a little aggressive for another one onto Mavericks, but Mavericks able to get those 2 kills. And after that happened, Decadence kind of really just stalled out, as they had lost almost their entire roam clear, and they just kind of stalled out in their current positions, and then took so long to get to site. By the time they managed to really set up an idea for a push, there wasn't very much time left, and forced them to push into pretty much an unwinnable situation. But as we move into round number 2, we'll be seeing Quacked go to Sunrise in Blue Bar. Interesting enough, I have seen teams on PC, mainly Vitality, going to this site, having strategies set up much like what Quacked is doing currently, opening up that wall into courtyard, so then you can have players watch the Blue Bar from outside the site, as it is a very hard site to hold. There's not very many positions that you can really anchor down inside of the site itself. But it does look like Quacked has some strategies set up. But Mavericks once again on the Jaeger roaming upstairs, trying to make sure that no attackers are going to really take the upstairs control. Not really as important right now, as Decadence doesn't really have anything to capitalize on that upstairs control, so it's not going to matter a whole lot. But it does appear that we actually have 2 players upstairs, the Castle and the Jaeger. Nightmare pushing into Aquarium, spots the Castle, goes for the shots on him, and gets shot from behind by Mavericks. Very nice teamwork from Mavericks. And who's on the Castle? I believe it is
Oreos, yeah.
Oreos?
Yeah.
Very nice communication from the 2 there, kind of baiting that blitz into that. Mavericks does get put on to very low HP. Once again, just like the previous round, put on to about 4 or 5-ish health. Just playing inside of luggage, trying to stall out for as much time as possible. Drones are coming in currently, and there are attackers located in theater. It does appear that Mavericks may have been misdroned. He peeks around the corner, but Linus with the kill onto Mavericks. So low HP, can't win the gunfight. A very nice refrag from him there, putting us in a 4 versus 4. The advantage is slightly in favor of the attackers, as they do have the health advantage, though they are starting to run out of time. They have gained control of upstairs and eliminated the 1 main roamer that was upstairs. So we do have something to work with. It appears that they are pushing in through security now, trying to push into that lobby, but Pulse does get picked off. So as he's about to holding that, Lana's very nice shot onto Love Rage now puts the man advantage in favor of Decadence as we go into the last 20 seconds of the round. Azdex peeking into office, getting a kill onto Linus before peeking up and getting a second one onto Foggy. Putting his team in the man advantage now once again. Oreo's getting one for himself onto Jacobs. It's all left up to the Zofia, who is injured. She tries to withstand, and Vazdex getting a third kill with a shotgun pistol onto Paralysis.
And that was a very nice lockout from Quacked. Pretty much exactly the same story. You put 2 roamers upstairs, you allow Mavericks to do his thing. Drops one, gets hit to very low health, but is able to drop one of the roam clearers, and when you drop the blitz, that's a significant turn of the tide in tide turning in the round, whatever you want to call it. I almost said table tides, and that would not have been right at all. But when your team has a blitz, you feel like you have a very fast roam clear. You feel very confident because, honestly, blitz with a very coordinated team with good drone work is pretty darn overpowered. Now, the issue with that blitz play was that there wasn't sufficient drone work ahead of him. He knew that he saw the castle run to his right, so he knew the castle was to his right, but he had no idea what was to his left. Little did he know that Mavericks was sitting in aquarium right behind the bar and was able to take him out. A good refrag by Linux to finish off Mavericks. However, from there it was just classic Quacked holding the site down with supreme efficiency, being able to win that round, making it 2-0. Quacked esports.
Yeah, that round at the beginning, it definitely really looked like Decadence were going to take that, getting those 2 kills, having the health advantage mainly, and going to push into the actual site itself after they had cleared the 1 roamer, which was Mavericks off the board, and arguably one of the best shots on the team currently. But anyways, yeah, like I said, it really did look like that was going to be a Decadence round, but ended up swinging back into the favor of Quacked as Vazdex getting that quick double kill onto the IQ and Thatcher, I believe, peeking out for 2 quick kills and just simply winning his gunfights.
Yeah, and this is I don't know what to make of this setup. This is not something you usually see, but this is like the strongest VIP hold I've ever seen. So you got two rotate holes out of it, but you've used all 3 castle barricades, and you've got just a very, very heavy investment into the VIP lounge, which this is not a strategy I've ever seen, not in Xbox Pro League, not in PC Pro League. So it'll be really interesting to see how this site is attacked by Decadence.
And I've said this a lot in previous games that I've casted, if anybody has seen any of them, but Coastline, I always like it as a map, as there's lots of new things that you see come out from teams that you normally wouldn't see, much like this hold that we're seeing right now, that I've actually never seen anything like it, honestly, ever used before in any comp play or even in ranked play. Interested to see if it's going to work out. But with a minute, with just over a minute expended, nobody has been killed yet. And just as I say that, Hassel getting a kill onto Linus, beaking down the hatch, I believe, into lobby, getting a kill onto the IQ, getting the mana advantage for his team. Actually peeking some pre-placed holes. Looks like poor droning from Decadence. They're not spotting out those holes and allowing their teammate to get fragged off very easily. Kind of a body thrown away. Although it is the IQ that you have lost, so not a ton of utility that you really have lost with that death, but still nonetheless a body being taken away is still putting your team at a fair disadvantage. Only a minute left, not much progress has been made by the attackers yet to push the actual site itself. It does appear that they're still kind of trying to push downstairs and make sure that there is no defenders down there, but there is none currently, I believe, as it is a 5-man site hold, kind of a couple players sitting inside that VIP lounge. 30 seconds left. Does look like the actual push is starting now. Thermite opens up that wall into theater. Paralysis getting a kill onto Mavericks before Oreos refragging a Nightmare. Jacob gets a kill onto Oreos. Love Rage gets a kill onto Foggy before Vazdex also gets one for himself under Jacob. You get it all up to Paralysis, and a 1v3 before Rage gets a second kill for himself onto Paralysis.
So that round from Decadence was just them asking themselves, is Quack roaming, or have they moved off of that? Have they just moved back to the full site? And Quack had invested all of their utility in the VIP push, and if you count VIP as part of the site at that point, since they had opened up that rotate hole, they had all 5 guys on site. But playing that heavy roam during those first 2 rounds really had Decadence on their heels, just kind of reeling. Are they going to roam? Are there going to be people hiding in Aqua, hiding in the server stack on the opposite side of the map that are going to come flank us. And again, pushing site with only a minute left, generally not a good thing. However, it's doable, but just a ton of gunfights all coming out at once. And Quacked, I mean, that's where they're a very, very good team, is they generally come out on top if it comes down to a frag fest like that last round did.
Yeah, and that was definitely a lot more one-sided round than the previous two. Decadence had the right idea there. They saw the heavy VIP hold and they decided, hey, instead of contesting it, let's just push theater instead. The problem with that is their lack of droning and how slow they were clearing out the bottom floor. They took way too long to actually set up for their push onto theater, and because of that, it allowed Quack to just kind of sit around inside a site and force the attackers to have to get more aggressive and try and take 1v1s that they really otherwise wouldn't win. And because they were so rushed, they didn't have a whole lot of time to drone sites, so they just kind of had to push in blindly. And due to that fact, Quack just kind of fragged all the attackers off at the end there.
And we are going to be visiting all 4 sites today. See a lot of pre-placed holes being opened in Hookah Lounge, and not a lot of reinforcements being used. There could be just a good aqua push could kind of just cut that, kind of just destroy this defense completely, as there's no utility used on that side of the map.
This is kind of interesting, as Hookah Lounge is usually considered actually the worst site on this map. And it's also interesting that Quacked is deciding not to go back to Kitchen. I mean, I suppose the round was a lot closer, but still, they managed to win Kitchen, so it's kind of surprising that they'd opt to go to a different site instead of back to their primary bomb site. But I guess they do have a strat, much like they did in the previous round for this site, so interested to see which way this round is going to go into the hands of. But anyways, this is an important round for Decadence to win, as they kind of need to shift the momentum back to their favor. But actually, Vazdek's getting a little engagement with Linus on the Hookah stairs. Does deal a little bit more damage than he has received. Does bring the Maestro down to pretty much 1 health. Has been put down to about 60 himself. Vazdek sitting on 5 HP on the Maestro. Jacob trying to push in through luggage, and Oreo's quickly shutting him down, taking down the Thatcher. Quite a bit of utility off the board, unless he had already used his EMPs, which I believe he did not. Coverage adding to the kill count, getting a C4 kill onto Paralysis before Nightmare gets a refrag onto Hassel. It's losing the smoke, although you have lost to Thatcher and Zofia. Arguably more utility lost on the attacker's end, but Linus also getting a refrag onto Love Rage. That's the Pulse off the board. Also Planta now that has been removed with the Smoke and Pulse. So now it is all up to the 2 site players of Vazdex and Oreos. And then Mavericks once again on the run with the Jaeger, which I do not believe that the attackers know where he is at. Oreo's getting another kill though onto Nightmare to the Cool Vibe stairs, getting to engagement with Linus. Linus just kind of sitting on the stairs. Foggy manages to get a kill on Vazdex, but Mavericks come out from behind with the excellent flank, getting the kill onto Foggy. It's all up in a 1v1, and Linus getting a 4th kill onto Mavericks. 4K on the round for him, clutching up that nice little 1v1 against Mavericks that, to be honest, he really shouldn't have won. Mavericks, I guess, just not expecting that aggression from the Ash and simply getting punished for it. Nice
Yeah, that was
win from Decadence.
Sorry, that was a very good round there by Lennox, picking up 4 kills for his team, and really was the main reason why his team won that round. You had the pick by, I believe it was Foggy on the IQ a little bit, no, that was Nightmare, early in the round, taking out the smoke, which that was a good kill. You've expended a lot of utility, but I mean the rest of his team was pretty much distractions so that he could run up Cool Vibes with Ash and finish off the last 2 defenders. Very, very well played. However, by Decadence, knowing that they might not know where all of the defenders are, but if they can cause enough noise, enough distraction, and put the Ash into a powerful position on those cool vibe stairs, they've got a decent chance at taking that round, as they have picked up now their first round win of the series.
Yeah, I feel like the Ash play was kind of just a Hail Mary, as it looks like they didn't really have an idea of how to push that site, and sometimes it can be a little confusing if you don't try to work it out. If you're not expecting a hookah defense, then you're probably not thinking of what site push you're actually going to do. So going into the prep phase, they probably weren't expecting it right away, so then they had to make some quick decisions, and it looks like they kind of just didn't know what to do. So Linux, I believe that's how you pronounce it, just kind of pushing up the cool vibe stairs, deciding that he's just going to try something crazy, and it ended up working out for his team in the end. But like I was saying in the beginning of the round, that was an important round for Decadence to win, as they can kind of bring the momentum back and try to win this last attacking round to put them at less of a deficit, as going away from a split, being down 3 rounds is kind of tough, especially on a map like Coastline where it is attacker sided.
I mean, you put it all perfectly. I don't really have a whole lot to add to that. It was that was really a must-win for Decadence, and they were able to lock it out. They knew at least they figured out mid-round what they had to do, and were able to execute it.
But Quacked defending that defending Blue Bar and Sunrise Bar site so well, deciding to go back to it. Not surprising. Looks like we're having kind of the same upstairs clear as we saw previously in the same strat come out from Quacked. Nothing really a whole lot different, although this time Mavericks is playing downstairs on the Realm instead of upstairs. It does appear that they have actually brought on the board a Sledge and a Buck for the vertical gameplay, actually capitalizing on that upstairs control, which they were not doing previously, which was kind of a waste of time at that point. But Leverage is kind of peeking up through the hatch, hoping to catch a defender off guard. Linux pushes down the main stairs, gets an engagement with Mavericks. Does get lit up very low, but also brings Maverick down very low. First kill of the round will go into the hands of Oreos onto Jacob, so Thatcher off the board. Do believe that he had used a couple EMPs, so not a huge loss, but still a body being lost in the final minute so of the round. Maverick still playing on that hard roam inside the lobby, just kind of trying to waste more time. Linux right next to him, but I don't think he realizes it. There's not really any drones. Maverick's peeking around the corner, but deciding not to fully peek it. Linux just barely missing him. Both are at very low HP. Meanwhile, Warrior's getting another kill onto Foggy. Maverick's peeking out, finally getting the kill onto Linux. And in that little engagement, Nightmare will manage to get a refrag though onto Vazdex, but they're still down 2 bodies. 4 versus 2 in favor of Quacked currently. Paralysis going for a little bit of nade there, but the nice ADS placement by Mavericks. Paralysis getting a kill onto Leverage, getting very aggressive, trying to push into that little connector, I should say. Nightmare upstairs manages to get a kill onto Mavericks. Mavericks trying to go for that late flank and getting punished for it. Paralysis is inside sight though. He doesn't have diffuser. He does get hit by a Goo Mine, does get injured by Oreos, getting a 3rd kill of the round. It's all up to the Buck of Nightmare, but there's no time left, and without diffuser in hand, that round will go into the way of Quacked.
And that was a very new way of defending the blue bars as well, as you saw the Maestro playing the majority of that round. Or no, sorry, not the Maestro. The Maestro had opened up all of blue bar into the courtyard, and I believe it was Love Rage playing the majority of that round inside the courtyard, which is not a very powerful position in and of itself. There are a lot of angles that you can use to take out a defender sitting inside of there, but the way that they had people play around him with Mavericks coming on late roams, up through luggage, making sure that there's no one getting an angle from there, making sure that they're not going to look down from the VIP balcony, or I guess the VIP hallway down into the courtyard, just distracting attackers up on that side. Allowed Love Rage to play inside of there, and once he got Diffuser down in there, that's a hard retake, is taking back into courtyard, as all the defenders know that you're going to be going for that retake of the Diffuser, so you're going to have to. They're all going to be defending the courtyard from every different hallway, and at that point, it's just an out-of-control roam game, which is extremely hard to shut down with 5 people, more or less 2 attackers remaining.
Yeah, and with that last round being won, it will put Quacked up 3 rounds ahead of Decadence, 4-1 scoreline as of currently, and that will be the 5th round, so we will swap sides. We'll see Decadence now be on the defensive side and Quacked be on the attack. Surprisingly enough, the defenders have chosen to go hookah and billiards. Like I said previously in this matchup, this map is supposed to be attacker weighted, and this is supposed to be the worst site on the map, at least considered by the majority of the community, and most players in comp do see that the same way. But as for operator picks right now, we don't really see anything that's really stands out to me. Do have that Blackbeard that I believe Hassel is on. Hassel plays Blackbeard very well. He's actually a very strong Blackbeard player, and this is definitely a very good map for Blackbeard. Definitely one that he excels on a lot more than other maps per se. Kind of sitting on the roof trying to get some long angles onto any players, getting caught in rotation, spotting out the one defender but not being able to hit any shots on him before he backs off. Does look like we only have one roamer possibly, and that is Linux downstairs playing in that blue bar. No Paralysis getting a kill onto Love Rage. Love Rage getting a little bit too aggressive there, not droning super well. Opening up a hole into the window of Billiards and getting punished for it by the Legion. Vezdix has been injured though. Does look like he possibly is going for a reset, or maybe got injured from a smoke canister possibly.
I think that the Legion injured him on that rappel up to the window. I believe that Vibe Paralysis kill was the main hall.
Yeah, that was my bad. My apologies. It was the Castle who did manage to get that kill onto the player on big window. Paralysis is just holding an angle, looking at the big window still, just trying to make sure that nobody's going to repel, which possibly Hassel will, because he does have that face shield, so he can do so. Does look like the main attack is going to come from Blue Bar, from my apologies, not Blue Bar, from Aquarium, or Fish Tank as some teams may call it. For Smoke Canister does come out and does halt the push from the attackers. Vazdex has gone below with the buck though, and Jacob is waiting for him inside of Blue Bar. Manages to get the kill onto him, putting his team up to 3 people now up, as Nightmare gets another kill. Very quickly, Linux and the Maestro managed to get kill for themselves as well, and finish off that round. Flawless round for Decadence there on, like I said, considered the worst site on this map.
Yeah, that was more the fault of, I wouldn't say a bad attacking strategy. It's certainly not the best one that Quacked could have gone with. They definitely could have gone for a better take from main hall, or even just the standard smoke and plant from the from the hookah balcony. But just a really weird push, trying to put the buck underneath of Aquarium and Billiards late, and not really droning ahead, making sure that roam game was controlled. It seemed like they didn't plan to control the roam game. They planned to just have a quick take from Aqua and be able to push into sight and gain that control without really having to have full map control and full control of all the roamers. And when that didn't really work, they kind of tried to shift what they were doing a little bit and just got caught off guard by some good Decadence roams.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
Yeah, that push from Quacked was kind of a standard push. It was pushing in through Aqua or Aquarium, just kind of trying to push in for that default plant behind the bomb. And the nice thing about that push, much like other pushes that you see like on maps like Oregon, pushing from Big Tower, is that you can completely negate the roam game and that you don't really have to worry about it. And that's most likely why Quacked went for that push. The thing is they bottlenecked all of their players into one doorway, and that kind of was their downfall, as then they kind of had to try to resort to other methods of trying to get players to not really contest them as they try to push in, and that buck trying to go below was kind of not the best play, as they hadn't thrown at the roam game, as that's why they were doing the aquarium push in the first place. But when you do the aquarium push, you have to also try and push from luggage as well, and your droning needs to be a lot more efficient. And really bringing a shield for that push would have been better. Although I would guess that Quacked kind of was trying to prepare for a possible penthouse theater push. That's why they did not have one, or just brought the thermite. But
Yep.
that will be the end of round number 6. Going into the hands of Decadence, putting them down only 2 rounds now, 4-2, and now they will choose to go to penthouse and theater. Does look like they kind of have stolen a little bit of Quack's setup and have done the same strat going into VIP. I'm interested to see if Quacked will be able to fend off against their own strategy. I gotta assume they will. I know the downfalls of that strat, as they are kind of the ones that have been using it. Okay, so this is an interesting strat, and possibly Quack could just rotate off of it, as they know that they are holding it very strong. Bezik's pushing into the main hallway. Does take out a goo mine. Don't think that Linux knows that he's there though, as and I don't think that he's going to peek that either. Although I'm not 100% sure. We have Oreos, who's also pushing in through luggage. Currently, this Quacked push is looking pretty good right now, although time is starting to run kind of low. So they have a minute, so they can make a push. Just got to take out some of those players who are playing outside the site. Bazdex starting off the killing note, getting killed onto Linux. Oreo's going for some shots onto Nightmare and hitting them. It's Legion off the board, also putting his team in 2-man advantage. Does look like smartly Quacked has decided not to go for the VIP push. Instead has decided to push that theater. Oreos will be getting the thermite off very shortly. Rouse is still playing inside of VIP, though there's nobody to contest him. Mavericks peeking out, going for some shots onto the Rook, not really hitting any though. Rook peeking this very aggressively, and Jacob getting injured. Peeking that thermite hole very aggressively and getting punished for it. Mavericks pushes in, it's kill onto Paralysis, finishes off Jacob. That's all up to the Castle, who is currently, wait no, it's all up to the Maestro. The Castle has been fragged off. It's all up to the Maestro of Foggy, who is inside of site, inside of penthouse, and tries to go for the kill onto Mavericks. Mavericks with a pistol kill. Very nice headshot onto him, winning his team round number 7 and putting them up 3 rounds once again. Nice little 3K for Mavericks there.
Yep, Mavericks doing what he does best, pushing the site heavy with an ACOG, being able to take out 3 defenders right there, helping his team take their 5th round, putting this game onto match point. And of course, it was a different style of defense, as Decadence kind of maybe stole a little bit of Quack's strategies. However, you could tell that it's Quack's strategy. It's not Decadence's strategy. Quacked had a much better grip on how they were supposed to defend that when it was their turn on defense, defending it successfully. Whereas Decadence just kind of threw it up there. We're like, hey, this was really cool. We should try it. And they didn't really have the flexible roam game that Quacked had on that site, Decadence was more stuck in to their spots. The Legion
Locate and defuse bombs.
was fixed into his spot, trying to hold luggage from the main hall, and then the VIP hold obviously was
Bomb located.
fairly easily countered. As I believe they did have Zofia just Vazdex easily able to pop open those castle barricades, which countered that site hold very well.
But with that round being won for Quacked, will, like you said, put them onto match point, 1 round away from taking home this map and putting us onto border. So
Attackers have recovered
Decadence
their
looking
diffusers.
to
Attackers
win
are
this
moving
round
to defuse
and
bombs.
the next 2 to put us into overtime. They have decided to go to the, like I said, the considered best site on this map, which is that kitchen and kitchen service bomb site. So this is, like I said, this is an important round for them to win, as this is where they can try to start the momentum shift back into their favor. Quack did have the momentum in the beginning. Decadence kind of pulled it back with those 2 rounds, and then Quack kind of stopping it dead in its tracks, winning that previous one. A very nice theater push, and now Quack looking to lock this out 6-2 right now. Look like we're having some heavy droning coming out from Hookah. Vigil does get spotted out, does get lit up very low, only on about 30 HP. Does decide to fall back, deciding it's not worth his life. Does rotate into Billards, kind of pulling an angle onto Hookah, waiting for a possible attacker to peek him, possibly catch someone off guard. Nice droning is coming out though, and Paralysis will get spotted out, and Oreos on the big window of Billards will manage to get that kill onto him. That's one of the roamers off the board, and upstairs control now surrendered to the attackers. Leverage on that buck, now capitalizing on that upstairs control, making holes. Foggy trying to peek up, maybe catch this buck off guard. Dex getting a kill onto Linux, peeking through kitchen door. Mavericks getting a kill onto Nightmare, putting his team up 3 bodies now. Only 2 now, as Jacob gets a double kill. It's a C4 kill onto Leverage before also getting a very nice shot on Mavericks. Foggy getting one for himself as well onto Vazdex, now tying us up in a 2v2. Oreos though getting a refrag onto Foggy, leaving it in a 2v1. 1v1 now as Jacob gets a 3rd kill on the round onto Oreos. It's all up to Jacob versus Hassel. Hassel is on the Blackbeard though, so he has shields. This is a 1v1 situation. These are the situations that Blackbeard excels in. Using that ACOG, he will trying to peek around the corner, seeing the Bandit going for the shots, but Bandit being too quickly peeking around the bomb. He has been lit up to about 45 HP, and Hassel on about 70. Flashbangs will be coming out from the Blackbeard. They will not have any success in blinding the Bandit though, and it will rotate to hold that 90-degree angle. Hassel pushes in, using that shield, manages to get the kill onto Jacob. Very nice attempt from Decadence there, pulling back from that 4 versus 2, pulling it back to a 2v2, and eventually getting it to a 1v1. But one out by Quacked, and very well-deserved win in my opinion. Playing very strongly on Coastline, obviously being well prepared for it with new strats and just very nice holds and pushes overall.
Yeah, definitely. And very good job there by Jacob trying to bring it back for his team, picking up 4 kills. However, just unable to lock things out. And Quacked will take the map. Here, just give me 1 second. All right. So yes, thank you very much, Sin. We're gonna love having you in the Pro League this season as a caster. Thank you so much for joining us. I do have to get through a couple people tonight, but yeah, thank you very much. It was very nice. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I guess you too.
All right. Here, where's the? I gotta get this next guy set up real quick. Right, I believe. Where's the? Here, we are going to be going on to border next. Here, where is? Wonder if. Hey Dan, are you? Dan, you're watching. Are you? You want to go for this, man? Give it a shot, cause I don't. This other guy. Here. I'll invite him. Yeah, and sorry for the delay. There's everything that I had planned for a no delay stream got messed up. Here, Dan, are you still in here, man? If this other guy's not gonna come, I want you in here. All right, Dan, where you at, man? I saw you in the chat. Yeah, there is a delay. I minimized it, but like that was as short as I could get it. Unfortunately, it was whole everything dying kind of really sucked. If anyone's got Dan the Caster on here. Join my Xbox party. Am I gonna have to get Coleman in here? I might have Coleman get in here. Here. Let's invite him real quick, actually.
Hello?
What's up, Coleman?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing all right. Sorry, I'm trying to get. Dang it. Well, I had a guy set up and then he never showed up, and then Dan was in the chat and he was going to be a part of this, but then he wasn't. Hey Coleman, just message me your Skype real quick.
Skype?
Yeah.
Alright, I definitely don't have that.
Okay, well, I guess just watch the
Guess I won't
stream.
be casting. Alright, it's been a fun stream. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.
See ya, Coleman. Alright. Alright, so now we just gotta wait for Decadence. Here. Come on, Vibe. Where you at, bro? Where you at? Looks like you guys are stuck with me, at least for this map. And if we do get pushed onto a third map, I'm going to see if we can grab Dan in here. Get the other guy that I had originally planned. All right, well, we're just going to have to start it. Cannot. All right, well, moving on to border now. And as Sin said, this is a very strong map for Quacked. Actually, wonder, Sin, if you are watching the stream still, what is the deadline for? Do you mean entering the league? For entering, it is December 5th. Oh, for the Challenger League, December 15th. Here, if I'm gonna message Sin back. Thermite lion bands, yeah, that's pretty standard. Not a huge deal there. Mira, yeah, this is all very standard for border. We'll see if this last defender ban is anything different. Echo, yeah, nothing. So Quacked will be starting on the attack now. Decadence on the defense. They will be actually taking this to the ventilation room first. That's a little different right there. You don't really expect ventilation first, especially on a map like border. You always expect that armory lockers and archives hold. We're going to see a vent room hold this time from the defenders. And I understand the thought behind it, trying to throw off the attackers. However, as Paralysis switches onto the castle, you pretty much, the way you hold vents is by holding upstairs. And if you're trying to throw the attackers off by making them think you're going to go upstairs, but then going upstairs to armory, I mean, you're still defending armory on vents. So if they were going for like a major throw off, I would have said just go customs, because that's something that's a radically different operator lineup if you're going customs, especially with the thermite ban, because thermite is oh so powerful on this wall and this wall. And if you only have a Hibana, you can only fully open up one of those walls to get a pinch into sight. So we'll have to see how this plays out. Again, I understand the thought behind going downstairs first, but we'll just have to see if it works out how Decadence hopes that it will. Quacked getting ready to attack the first floor site. We are seeing a very light roam, actually. It is only Jacob Upstairs, no, the Jaeger, sorry, will rotate up and hold armory lockers with him. However, there's no investment of the castle, and yeah, all you've invested up here is 2 reinforcements. So I'm not quite sure what the strategy was. Hibana's charges messing up even though Mavericks was half a foot away. Go figure. As the attackers start to move their way towards that site, the half wall, protecting the Legion from Vazdix, spraying through into offices. This drone will likely force Jacob into a extremely pinched position, as now being pushed heavily, you've got Mavericks, a heavy fragger on one side, and Vazdix, another heavy fragger on the other. Mavericks will get the kill onto Jacob. A knife kill from Vazdix as Linux does not turn the corner in time. Sophia locking out a kill for her team there. And potential missed nitro cell from below from the Valkyrie. Yes, that is the utility of that nitro cell through the floor gone, which is, that can really turn the tide around, especially if you catch 2 attackers off guard with that. A little bit of a push coming from the main hall, and Vazdix, as he will be staring down Foggy on the Maestro eventually, peeking it, ooh, ripping some shots towards the Zofia. However, Vazdix able to back off enough. He'll be attempting to quick peek this and just hold an angle. Foggy is content to just let the Zofia chill inside of the main lobby and allow his teammates to go to work on the floor. Mavericks has actually moved his way inside of the site. Doesn't have diffuser, as there's a drop. Foggy will take out Love Rage, as Paralysis will take out the sledge. The push into vents and the plant going down from Oreos. However, Vibe Paralysis is there to deny Foggy finishing off Mavericks, and we are all down to the Blackbeard of Hassel sitting above. Just not good plant coverage there by Quacked Esports, allowing themselves to be flanked. A nice shot there by Hassel on a Nightmare, peeking the rotate hole with 4 seconds left. Doesn't have enough time, especially, oh, he will take out the castle. 1 second left. However, Foggy killing Hassel off before Hassel has the chance to clutch. And unfortunately, Quacked losing that round, as that, the reason I say is unfortunate is because that really was their round. They just did not have flank coverage as they were trying to put down the plant inside events. And good. It would have been a good retake had the diffuser been down, but it was a good collapse onto the diffuser that was being planted by Decadence, taking the first round against Quacked on border. 1-0. Love Rage will be using that 6 pick as well as Nightmare. Switching from Castle to Bandit. And Love Rage, he might be sticking this Buck. Buck is a good choice to deal with those Bandit batteries on the main wall. Yeah, IQ is also a good choice. Ash is also fairly effective there, but Buck is generally the preferred operator there, as he's got the frag grenades. Since IQ has lost them, why does IQ not have frag grenades, Ubisoft? Alright. So it looks like we'll be seeing something a little bit different from Decadence. It looks like with the utility and reinforcements going up, they will be going for a little bit of a hold from this office's side. And that's something where, if you're a defending team, you can either choose to hold offices and expose yourself to 2 angles, or hold Fountain and expose yourself to 1. But a Fountain hold generally has to be supported by a CCTV roam, as an easy push up these main stairs, and with the Hibana in play, we'll be able to open up that wall and counter directly the Fountain hold. However, if you're holding all of this, then you have all of this free real estate to be able to secure your defense on, and that's not something that you really have to worry about as fountain being opened. It's just something that, okay, well, now we're exposed a little bit from this angle as well. However, we have the support on site to get a crossfire. Love Rage. Oh yeah. He was off in his own fantasies. Jacob with a run out, finishing off Hassel early. Good run out by the Valkyrie, potentially using one of her cameras. Secure that kill onto the Blackbeard. And Blackbeard is very powerful on this map, especially as, yeah, that was Hassel on the Blackbeard. So the Blackbeard main, I guess you could say. Foggy will actually finish off Oreos, however, being refragged onto by Vazdix. So good refrag. However, you've now lost the Hibana, so you've lost your main fragger in Hassel playing Blackbeard on Windows, and you've lost your hard breacher. So this is potentially one of the worst possible ways, as Lynx will get the kill onto Mavericks. Vazdix and BB Love Rage, the final two attackers. Vazdix in the main hall. Starts to back off. We'll see if Outcam that's been spotting him, and Love Rage just kind of holding this angle from east balcony. Not a whole lot he can do right here. One playing inside of offices. He has been droned out. Sorry, Love Rage attempting to throw a frag through, likely got caught by Jaeger ADS, as I did not hear an explosion. Is that sitting right inside of there? That is Linux, sorry. Vazdix actually kills Paralysis. Love Rage peeking wide, however, is taken out by Linux. All down to the Zofia of Vazdix. Vazdix watching his flanks well, is able to catch the bandit. Trying to get that kill. 30 seconds left as Nightmare J and Linux. I keep on calling him Lynx. It's Linux. Trying to get a flank on him. 20 seconds remaining. And the Jaeger sitting just inside of the window will get the down and finish the kill on Vazdix. Sorry, that was actually Jacob the Valkyrie rotating inside of offices late. Good angle being held there by him. Securing that round for Decadence. So Decadence actually has a 2-0 lead here on Border against Quacked. And part of me says that this is a little bit ridiculous because Border is very well played by Quacked. However, part of me says this is to be expected because Border is so well played by Quacked. There's a lot of odds of Border on Quacked, and there's a lot of experience. Not just from Decadence, but from many other teams playing against Quacked on Border. So that could be working towards the advantage of Decadence. As far as counter strats go, they will go down to customs now. So they have 1-2 straight defenses, and the teller's bathroom site is horrible. Customs a much more viable site. We will see the Monty come out from Oreos. And a heavy investment in frag grenades on Hassel and Love Rage. Could potentially see multiple frag kills as Customs, as far as the main wall hold, that I believe it is that east side, you kind of have to stay locked in your position. You can't really give that up. You can see it better when the map gets pulled up. Yeah, so this west side, sorry. You really have to be able to hold this effectively, hold it from above with CC, and hold from below. If they get this wall open and are allowed to flood on over, get crossfires into a site, and that pretty much just clears up a site for an easy vault through the window. And a Monty Turtle plant or a plant behind a Monty is very easy in the very narrow site. It also, I guess, depends if they open up or close off these walls. You do really want to open them up. Leaving them soft is, I mean, it's something you can do. Generally, it's very recommended that you try and play. You play upstairs as holding CC and the main hallway, and when you hold that main hallway, you get an angle from these stairs down into a site, and that can kind of counter that. But looks like the investment. Oh, that is all with a thermite ban. It's not generally how you would play the site, but with the thermite ban, that's the most effective way to play it. Mavericks opening up the side wall. Vazdix starts to set up the crossfire, as I said, into the A bomb site. Vazdix and Love Rage, clearing from that north side, are able to cut off all of the defenders as you've got Jacob roaming up in CC and Lynx roaming up near where Oreos is entering, actually. You've got a decent roam game as Mavericks finishing off Nightmare. See, Mavericks has established himself inside of detention, so now he can get a crossfire on any defenders inside of A. However, there are none inside of A. But Oreos, with the diffuser all the way upstairs, trying to get his teammates, and he's pinched, actually, inside of the break room. There's not a whole lot he can do. He's going to be easily finished off. And the diffuser going upstairs when you've opened up and have detention control, I'm not sure what they're playing at, especially if they had pre-drone. They know that there's not a whole lot of holes opened in that floor. It could have been an easy push, but no, deciding to try and roam clear up top, leaving Mavericks all to his own inside of the site. Vibe Process taking out Vazdix, down to a 3v3. Mavericks, Hassel, and Love Rage, the final attackers left as Mavericks doing work inside of the site. Actually, that's through the floor. Nice kill there onto Fog. No, that was the Maestro on site. So Mavericks has full site control. However, still trying to clear out the two roamers entrenched in sight. Love Rage getting the call that site control is had. Hassel, however, being finished off, and that is not good. Hassel had to delay those attackers. Vibe Paralysis finishing him off. Or, sorry, delay those defenders so that Love Rage could get down. However, Love Rage has worked his way inside of sight, but instead of being distracted with the buck up top, they're able to play the few vertical angles that they have open. As Jacob seeing the Hibana just missing some shots onto Mavericks. Both attackers very low health. There is a decent chance at a retake as Vibe Process looks for the run out. And sees that there's none outside, however, missing the sledge. And this should be, at this point, a fairly easy hold. Vibe Process almost getting the team kill onto Jacob. Love Rage finishing off Paralysis. And Love Rage with the SMG-11 finishing off Jacob. Quacked will take round number 3. Good flank there by Love Rage. And really, if you're the Legion in that scenario, you just have to hop into A. You know there's not a whole lot of time left. You know that the plant is down. And so you have to push aggressively inside of A. However, going for the peak all the way outside is... I mean, if there's someone outside, then they're not an immediate threat. If there's someone inside of A, that's the immediate threat. If you take out the person inside of A, then hop back out to the main hallway, you're not going to get killed from the outside. And that will generally, if you kill someone inside of A and someone was playing outside, Mavericks in that case, Mavericks would move inside to try and get the refrag, which would easily allow your teammate in Valkyrie to get a pinch onto Mavericks. Of course, assuming that Mavericks doesn't hit a nasty flick, which is nothing you should ever assume, as Mavericks has very high amount of gun skill. But that's generally the way you should play it. Obviously, I have a third-person perspective. I'm not in the moment, but it is curious that the Legion kind of ran all the way outside to try and get a kill onto an attacker that he didn't know where the attacker exactly was.
Need to locate
so 1-2 scoreline. Quacked picking up their first round and going back to vents is Decadence. Nightmare J Or JS. Nightmare. Whatever. I need to ask him what else to be called. Placing a Valk Cam upstairs. So they will at least have that utility. Trying to hold upstairs. Maybe Linux will attempt to hold the armory lockers a little bit as well, as that was kind of the downfall, or the almost downfall at least, of Decadence on this site last time. Was they kind of gave up vertical control pretty quickly. However, out-fragging Quacked, and that potential spawn peek, Mavericks taking a little bit of damage. Falling off of that is Decadence, and yes, we will see a much tighter upstairs hold as Jacob and Linux playing to each other's advantage inside of offices and armory respectively. However, CCTV, easy map control here from Quacked. We'll see if they are able to extend that map control onto or into the armory lockers. Linux will finish off the kill, and he is being pinched out once again. This is, oh, just missing the shots, losing a lot of his health to Mavericks. Mavericks moving inside. Hassel will get the kill onto Jacob. That was likely from a punch. Yeah, that's a good hold there, opened up by the buck. Don't have a whole lot left, and actually dropping back down is Linux. A good call there, having that hatch pre-opened, allowing himself to rotate back downstairs before too much harm comes to him. So full top control for Quacked, and that is a dangerous thing when you have a Zofia and a buck. Nitro cells being thrown. That was Nightmare missing the nitro and missing the shot onto Vazdix. The Zofia finishing the kill onto the Valkyrie right there. Plenty of utility still left for the attackers as they play all vertical angles. However, start droning out the bottom floor with a minute 05 left. I know they're going to have to drop Oreos down there. This mid front door, oh, just not enough ammo. That is where the Type 89 is at a major disadvantage, is with only 21 rounds in that magazine. If you just finished opening up a door, you cannot kill what would have been an easy, you cannot secure what would have been an easy kill onto the Maestro. 4v3, a little closer to even as Paralysis finishes off Vazdix, trying to come from the main lobby. Good angle held there by him. On top, the security Mavericks has moved his way inside of a bomb site. However, he did not know Foggy taking out Oreos, but Hassel getting a good refrag onto Foggy. Mavericks with a nice shot on a Linux. And Paralysis, the last defender alive, is going to hop out, and he'll take out Mavericks. A good shot by Paralysis, but good coverage there by Quacked Love Rage. Hearing that window break and finishing off the castle. Quacked will take their second round, tying this one up 2-2 as we move on to round number 5. Decadence really giving Quacked a run for their money, and on border too, which isn't really to be expected. It's, again, border is one of Quacked's best maps, but Decadence doing a very nice job against them so far here tonight. You look at the scoreboards, Paralysis and Foggy top fragging for their teams, or for their team, sorry, and fairly even across the board with the exception of Oreos on Quacked. Oreos obviously the IGL and one of the top support players. He doesn't I will not say that he does not have a lot of fragging power. He does have a lot of fragging power. He is a high gun skill. He does have high gun skill. However, with the role that he plays in Quacked, he just doesn't get the opportunity to get a lot of kills because you have people like Mavericks and Hassel and Love Rage. All and that, I mean, all of these 4 players for Quacked are high gun skill players. Not saying that Oreo isn't, but Oreos fits a very good support role where the top 4 frags right now from Quacked fill that role very well. They fill the top frag role very well. Quacked using that to their advantage. Bringing it back from down 0-2 on this map after locking out Coastline. It was either 6-2 or 6-3. Forget the scoreline on that one. I believe it was 6-3. Long angle being opened up after maybe a missed reinforcement, as that is generally one of the standard reinforcements that you'll put on the CCTV wall so that you can deny that long angle. Foggy hears it being hit behind him. He'll choose not to worry about it, and that's another thing, is you can choose not to waste a reinforcement there and just not peek it at all. It's tempting, but you really have to be disciplined in not peeking that. Oreos opening things up with the Hibana and a nice Nitro Cell. Very aggressive there by Nightmare, finishing off the Hibana. However, the Hibana's utility has been used, so while a good kill there by Nightmare, not really an impact frag, as Foggy will finish off Love Rage. That is an impact frag, taking out the Ying. Mavericks will get the refrag, however the damage is done. Only 1 Candela being dropped, and it being dropped before it could be thrown into sight. So 3 attackers left, Vazdix, Mavericks, and Hassel in a decent position to get a good pinch onto the site. However, Vazdix, he's really got to check his corners, make sure that he's droning out. Vibe Paralysis gets dropped by Mavericks, pushing his way up inside of the A site. However, Linux here, Vazdix is going to just move around. Nightmare finishes off Mavericks. However, Hassel gets the refrag there. Vazdix and Hassel, the last 2 attackers, working against 3 defenders. Paralysis has been picked back up. Linux still with his position inside of offices unknown. Jacob being found out by that Zofia Gershmot inside of the archives. Hassel moved his way up inside of A, covering the plant from Vazdix, going down deep inside of the armory lockers. Now it's just flank watch as Jacob will actually take out Vazdix. A nice, well-placed Nitro Cell there by the Valkyrie as he attempts to go for a flank. Hassel, hearing the Jaeger hop out, will finish off Linux. However, Jacob peeking at crouch height, finishes off the sledge. 3-2. Decadence will take round number 5.
Bomb defusing attempt failed. Defenders win.
So now, taking a 3-2 lead into the swap is Decadence. And Border's one of the more back and forth maps. Again, it definitely depends on strats. Obviously, if you have terrible strats, then I mean you can win Armory Lockers. Armory Lockers is a very defensive sided site, but every other site on Border can really go either way depending on the strats. And you're seeing that with the 3-2 scoreline. However, with Decadence on top is not something that I guess was very expected by people. Quacked kind of slipping a little bit here on one of their top maps. Oreos using the 6th pick from the mute onto the pulse. 2 Nitro Cells being brought out by Decadence last round in order to finish off a couple attackers. 2 Nitro Cells to counter on Quacked this time, as they will go to the fairly standard bomb site that is Army Lockers. Without the Mira, you're going to want to put a castle up there. Yeah, if you're going to play the castle, that's where you want it without a Mira, as she is banned fairly standard site setup. From Quacked, yeah, I'm not seeing anything super special. Again, it is a little different that they're putting a whole lot of utility into the offices. As this isn't something that you generally see a whole lot. It's definitely not unheard of. This is definitely a good way to hold the site. However, it's just more common to strictly hold Fountain. But I guess with the Mirror gone, and Mirror being the main way, Vazdik's trying a run out and being downed. It will be able to be picked back up by Mavericks. The drone coming out as a lot of defenders move in to make sure that Vazdix retains his life. See how Decadence decides to try and pick apart this very dynamic. Ooh, sorry, long day. This very dynamic defense of Quacked. Again, if you count offices as an extension of the site, that is full site. It's just full up top control, with the exception of CCTV, and that's kind of, I'd say that's kind of where Decadence has to focus. They have to realize now that offices is being held heavy. We could pretty easily push CCTV and balcony, and it would be, there's not a whole lot of rotation inside of this once you're inside of the site or on top of the top floor. Vazdik's losing a little bit more health. The Bandit with only about 20 remaining before he is finished off, and Foggy lagging out. That is unfortunate. We'll hope that he can get back in time for the next round. Like we might have a quick push. Paralysis actually just making sure that there isn't a hyper-aggressive push as that castle barricade gets popped open with a lot of delay on... Oh, Maverick's taking out Linux, but Vibe Paralysis just missing some shots onto the Bandit of Vazdix. Peeking now, a much longer angle. It's the Bandit trying to quick peek this Capital. So we are in a 3v5. Not looking great for Decadence. Only 30 seconds left. Nobody inside of the building. Ooh, one missed Candela, and with the smokes out, Nightmare has actually moved his way deeper, but out of the smoke. Love Rage sitting inside of the smoke is able to get the knife kill. Jacob taking out Love Rage on the refrag. Paralysis finishing off Oreo's Nightmare, getting a Claymore kill on Vazdix. Mavericks finishing off Jacobs down to a 2v1. Capital, nothing he can do as he is castled out of the main hallway. Quacked will take a 3-3 lead, or sorry, we'll tie it 3-3. What has been a tight match. Did he did not get back in? We'll ask the team if they want to rehost real quick. I'm assuming that is a yes to the rehost. Yeah. All right. Well, so it's Thermite, Lion, Mira, Echo on the bands. All right. Here. Reconnect to custom match, yes. However, it won't put round history up there, will it? Is it going to put me back into the... Dang it, Love Rage. Love Rage was still in the game, so put me back. I'm assuming that's just the message for rehost. Yep. Well, that would have been fine had leverage not still been in. That was a defensive win up top, I believe, yeah. Oh my. Please don't hate me, game. Okay, there we go. Coleman, message me or Skype, man. Try and get you in here. Alright, bands were, it was Thermite, Lion, and then Mira Echo, right? Yeah. Alright, it was 3-3, right? Yeah. This doesn't matter since it's 1-2. It was, who was, and Quacked was blue, that's right, so they just had the 2, and then Orange had the 3, yeah. Okay, so then Quacked even that out up top. There we go. Alright. So we're rehosting as fast as possible. Who are we waiting on? Just waiting on a couple of the Decadence guys. Alright. I do have that at 3-3, right? 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, yeah. Just one more Decadence. Get him in here. What are they missing? Yeah. Well, while we're waiting, thank you to Minor League Gaming so much for sponsor. Oh yes, that's right, Coleman. I forgot you messaged me. Here, let me pull it up real quick. Foggy, that's right. All right, well, I'm just gonna go with the start now. As soon as I gotta get Oreo's approval. Good. I'm just gonna say we're good. All right. Alright, come on, let me... Goodness gracious, this entire thing is just horrible. Alright. Coleman, I'm ringing you on... There we go. Alright. Now... Ah, yes. And now Coleman sees the wonders of... Now Coleman sees the wonders of the jerry-rigged setup and why there is delay on the stream. There we go. What's up, Coleman?
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing good.
Nice.
Ready to cast?
Oh, I'm
First.
so ready. If it's cool with
Should be
you,
good.
just because of the delay, I don't want to ruin everything for the people watching. I'm just gonna continue my shout casting, I guess, and I'm going to now expound upon that as I have you as a terrific analyst potentially for the rest of this map.
I'll analyze after rounds.
Awesome, sounds good. It's really unfortunate that the other guy didn't show up. I listened to one of his clips. He was pretty good.
It's unfortunate, but you gotta be committed to it.
Yeah. This is... Well, Mavericks is, there we go. He's come back to life. This does have a certain amount of professionalism to it. It's not a willy-nilly thing. So now you see why there's delay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Interesting.
hopefully it will only be till this Friday, because I can secure myself a nice Black Friday Elgato, which will make that stop. What? Okay, now what are Vastics? What are they doing? They kissing? Alright.
Truly have no idea.
Coleman's on the team and he's got no idea what's going on. Alright. Love it. Love to see it. I'm not gonna ask what's going on between those two. It'll be just a
You know what? Honest.
Yeah?
This entire match has been confusing. The Quack strats are actually... Most of them are on the fly, so the clubhouse interesting strats, not planned at all. It's just
Wow.
right there.
I mean, they were very well executed for how not planned they were. Thanks for the input, Coleman. Top floor control has been relinquished, with the exception of Love Rage still hiding inside of Armory Desk. And generally, you'd want to keep Mavericks, or sorry, the castle of Vazdix up there, as, ooh, I missed that, Mavericks taking some damage from the east stairs and being looked onto by the Ash Nightmare, finishing off Love Rage. Vazdix attempting to get a flank. See, generally you would have wanted the castle as the bar of the hollow site blocks Vazdix's vision. Foggy will get an easy kill onto the castle. See, in that position you generally want the Legion to drop back down to site so that you can maintain that long-term utility. Mavericks now attempting to flank on very low health. Very dangerous proposition for him, peeking that main hallway. He's just going to rip some shots towards the Thatcher of Foggy and retreat back down to site. That is a good idea. Oreos holding the majority of the site. From Bathroom Hassle, inside of server, and Mavericks in custom inspection. So still trying to maintain a little bit of that roam game integrity. However, it will likely be just a straight top-down push with maybe a vault through a window late for the attackers. Vibe Paralysis looking to hop through the window of vents with some nice smokes. Hassel on 1 HP, however, will take out Jacob. Foggy finishing off Mavericks. So the intel coming in that there is not a whole lot of time left. Diffusers has to go down. The smoke canister coming out, however, Foggy finishing off Hassel. It is all down to Oreos sitting inside of supply room as he is rotated out of the bathroom. He knows that the plant's going to go down. He's going to wait for the retake. However, leaving himself completely exposed right in front of that window on his camera. He's just going to hold the supply room angle. Potentially just playing for kills now. Oreos not in a terrific position for a successful retake, as already a third of the diffuser has been wasted, and he has not moved a muscle. He finally will move away from that window. However, he now only has half of the diffuser left. An easy plant coverage there from Linux. Not looking his way was Oreos. And a good attack there by Decadence. Able to finish off the Quacked defense.
The issue with that round was that Quacked did not successfully hold up top without losing either a ton amount of damage to themselves or dying. Whenever you lose up top control within the first minute and a half of a round, you're already destined to lose, because up top control on Workshop is super important.
And that was an interesting call to rotate the castle down instead of the Legion. Obviously, if you rotate the Legion down to site, you can use that the long-term effects of his goo mines to maybe try and cover a late push and maybe swap Mavericks onto that late flank as you leave the castle inside of the armory lockers or that small office, small closet right next to the armory lockers, to try and contest for as long as he can and allow Mavericks to get a flank. But so yeah, just some curious decision making there by Quacked, not working out in their favor. Decadence takes a 1-round lead, 4-3 on map number 2.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Going back down to vents is Quacked. They will look to have a more successful defense of this bomb site. The decider is Clubhouse. I'm pretty sure that they said that they could do 5-on-5 for all 3 maps. There will be a short break in between as I need to get water at some point.
5 seconds remaining.
And that would be in between maps 2 and 3, if there is a map 3. Over Quacked having to close out a very, very tight map if they want to avoid a map 3. Nightmare with some pre-fires through the window that Mavericks was going to peek, taking out the Jaeger early. That is a heavy roam presence in Mavericks gone, and there is nobody on site. Hassel's on A, but he's not watching the large portion of site that is the A wall at all. There's no even attempted hold from there, and vents is wide open now. You've got the vertical angles being played by Love Rage, so playing that from top down. But if he's being contested, then there's not a whole lot he can do. Other than that, it's just been heavy roam. Oreos seeing the Thatcher, and who's that right above him? The Buck. Oh, the Buck and the Hibana directly above him, as both of those attackers move in. Attempted frag grenade there. Does not a whole lot. Maybe a little bit of drone work could have made that grenade a little bit more effective. Maybe taking Vazdix down about half health, but nothing doing. Defenders just kind of entrenched in their positions. A $120 left on the match. Vazdix gets a nice kill onto Paralysis, who had pushed his way inside Where was that Capital? Can't say I'm sure. Oh, on the main window. Or on the vents window. Sorry. So Vazdic's playing heavy inside of Archives with the diffuser down. So will have to be a retake from the attackers. Vazdic's not getting pinched. All the attackers pushing him from one angle. So this is a powerful position for him. However, being taken out by Jacob. A good job there by the smoke, making his presence known up top. Finishing off the buck and rotating back downstairs. So now it will be about controlling the vertical angles. However, with only 30 seconds left, this is a much better rotate back downstairs by Quacked. That minute can make a whole lot of difference in the attack, and losing a large amount of the utility on the Capital as Oreos finishes off Foggy with a nitro cell through the floor. Good job there by the Pulse as Oreos starts to rotate back upstairs for a very late flank. Love Rage using his SMG-11, hassle killing Nightmare, and Love Rage finishing off Jacob. I'm not quite sure what the Hibana was doing right there. Just kind of stuck in the gas. And Love Rage could see through that smoke very, very well. That Hibana probably couldn't see him at all. Good kill there by the smoke. Evening this one out to 4-4 as we move on to round number 9. The third defense for Quacked. Or the fourth defense for Quacked. They have managed to even it
That was
up here.
around.
Go for
That
it.
was around the Decadence should have been able to close out. Knowing that they had the man advantage in the beginning, they should have realized that and try to spread out throughout the map more to close down those roamers, knowing that there's not going to be very many left, and close the angles in sight and just take away from what Quacked had going. But what they did not do was exactly that, and they funneled in, and their presence was known, and that gave Quacked the ability to outgun them, and that's the mistake that they have made that round.
Yeah, and another mistake was overextending themselves towards, towards the castle, playing inside of Archives. After finishing the kill onto the Capital, dropping the diffuser, you don't want to shove both attackers through the same doorway. That's a pretty powerful position if you're a defender, having both attackers push you from the same position. Now, the kill was secured onto the castle. However, that overextension inside of offices, or inside of Archives, allowed the smoke to get an easy shotgun kill for a nice refrag onto the buck, which is an important operator if you're attacking from above as far as vertical control goes. And then a quick rotate back downstairs really threw the attackers off there as well, having to spend a little bit of extra time figuring out if the smoke is still up top or not. And yeah, overall just a very good hold there by Quacked. Heading back up top, Oreos. Whew. Nobody spawning that valley entrance, but good angle. Nice one punch hole there onto the side of that air conditioner. A potential for a good spawn peak kill. However, nothing doing. Paralysis has actually lost just under half of his health from maybe another potential spawn peak. Vazdic's, what an angle. That might have been said spawn peak that the Capital was damaged from. So, once again from Quacked, you're going to see some heavy control of the offices. Vazdic's with Foggy on one side, and he's got to go in this Zofia of Lynx. Wonder if he notices that hatch is opened. Vazdic's doesn't really have an attacker to worry about right now as Jacob backs off. And that could potentially be a missed kill. Lynx decides to move in. Being just a very stagnant Decadence team right now. Maybe a little unsure of themselves, already using a minute 30 with nothing doing. Coming close to some wallbang headshots onto the pulse was Nightmare. Vazdix still playing inside of offices, and nothing has been done with 2 minutes gone on the round almost to try and flush out those playing inside of offices, and obviously that makes for a significantly harder push, and easily countered by Hassel smoke canisters. I believe he's going to use all 3. And 3 attackers stacked up there. Love Rage taking out 1. Love Rage taking out 2. Foggy and Vibe Paralysis dropped to the floor. Oreos finishing off Linux as well. So damage sustained by both defenders, but in the end, the kills coming out. Love Rage finishing that kill onto Jacob. A 3K there from him. A 4K from Love Rage taking out the Blackbeard on Vents. What a play there from the Maestro, using 81 rounds and no reload necessary to his advantage. Stacking up on that Vents balcony were the attackers. Not a powerful position, especially when you got an 81 round LMG pointed straight down that line of sight. Great job there by Love Rage, getting a 4K and winning Quacked the round.
As you said, Johnny, just, everybody can see it. Way too much time joining, and that obviously forced them to just funnel right into the barrel of Love Rage. So they just need to have more confidence in themselves and just push the site without just stacking up, because we can all see that that was a mistake.
Yeah, and it's very interesting how they keep on going for the... the first time they attacked that site, they went for the offices take and just went for the push into archives. However, it's effective, however, it leaves yourself open to a good flank from CCTV, a good flank from the east stairs. But, you can flank watch. It's not a bad strategy. It's definitely not the conventional just main wall push default plant, but it's not a bad strategy. It's a decent thing. However, that time they didn't even try to take offices. They spent a minute and a half, almost a minute of the round just droning out the defenders, trying to find out where they were, and decided, hey, screw it, let's just try and shove our way through our capital bolts, throw all of our candelas down into this one doorway, and just line up for Maestro's LMG to take care of us. And Love Rage, it was an impressive 4K still, but it wasn't necessarily a hard one. It was, they're using all of their utility on this doorway. Here, I might as well just aim 81 bullets down this line of sight that they're using. 3 of them are dead. Now I'll just... The last kill onto the Blackbeard, again, was... The entire thing was impressive. The last kill onto the Blackbeard, however, more so than spraying your LMG down an alleyway and dropping 3 defenders.
He intelligently held RT.
Yes, he very intelligently held RT and pushed a little bit down on the thumbstick. Love Rage and Foggy coming real close to each other, whether they knew it or not, as we see the crappiest site in the game. Haha, get it, because this is toilets. I'm a caster, not a comedian. I need to stop. So you've got heavy up top control, multiple shotguns on the smoke and the mute being used to annihilate the office's floor down into the site, and that's really the only way to hold this. We'll see what kind of up top attack comes out this time from Decadence. Love Rage continuing his reign of terror will finish off Paralysis as the Hibana opens up the default wall into tellers. Vazdix getting the pistol kill onto Foggy, as you really have to with the mute. That M59 is not a terribly impressive weapon. However, using that pistol to finish off the Thatcher. The Blackbeard of Nightmare on very low health, however, in a good position to easily secure himself a frag. It is down to Linux and Jacob to try and flush out this up top attack, and once again, it has just been a very unsuccessful top push for Decadence here, as they themselves have been pushed onto match point. Oh, what a wall bang from Linux, throwing some rounds into the armory wall, taking out Vazdix. Vazdix likely not too happy about that. Very lucky kill there. However, maybe sometimes luck is all that you need. Linux team killing Jacob, however, getting the kill onto Oreo's Mavericks, finishing off the Blackbeard of Nightmare J as he attempted to rotate up. Mavericks, Linux with another wallbang onto Mavericks, He's got a 2v1 situation, plenty of time with 50 seconds left, has the diffuser, and has full top control. He's just got to get some intel, whether through the use of drones or if defenders are on their cameras. Yep, Hassel, just an easy kill there. Onto Linux, locking that one out for Quacked. I completely froze up in the last seconds. A good angle there by the castle. Finishing off the IQ. And Quacked taking map number 2 and the game itself 2-0 with, I believe, scorelines of 6-3 and 6-4. Very good fight there by Decadence, especially early. However, just not a strong attacking side at all for Decadence. Quacked locking this one out. 2-0 victory. Coleman, got anything for me?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that Decadence, though they did not win the game, I think it was a very good learning experience from them, because Linux honestly did incredible effort that last round, and it was super close. And I think if a couple different gunfights went their way, they probably could have had a better chance of winning that.
Yeah, and it really did just come down to the attacking side. It was extremely close on border for Decadence, and as soon as it swapped to the attacking side, Decadence picked up, I believe, 2 rounds in their favor. However, they were both very close rounds. The attacking side, or the attack for Decadence, was mostly dominated by Quacked Esports, locking out this preseason scrim. A 2-0 scoreline. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been the Rainbow Six Pro League on console, the Xbox One specifically. Teams, if you are watching and you have not yet signed up on the website, go do that. You will be entered for the chance to win a $50 Xbox Live gift card to be split amongst your members if that payment is received by this upcoming Friday. I already said thank you all so much for watching. I said it too early. Thank you all so much for watching. As per usual, if you are watching this on Twitch, hey, go check out our YouTube. That is our that should be in the description it's in the info tab, not in the description. In the info tab, you can go check out our YouTube channel, watch this VOD back. And if you are watching this on YouTube, hey, go check out our Twitch. That will be the link to that will be in the description. Stay up to date on our website and our Instagram page for updates on when more preseason games will be coming out. Of course, the official season starting January 15th. And yeah, so just follow the Instagram page, follow the Twitter page in the info if you are watching on Twitch, and links in the description if you are watching on YouTube. Stay up to date for all of your Rainbow Six Pro League console information, news, whatever. So until next time, Jonathan, Johnny Streams, Ross, signing off. Thank you, Coleman, for covering. We will see you next time.
Thank you, my pleasure. See you guys.